Hey guys, welcome back to RIPP Superchargers. Today is the day we finally got a 300C on the dyno. This one here has a 3.6 liter Pentastar in it, and I know you guys have been sort of chomping at the bits here to see what it does. You saw this car about a week ago, and we were doing a naturally aspirated pass where it laid down a good 220 to 230 horsepower at the rear wheels like they do naturally aspirated. Now this vehicle is an 8-speed, it's rear wheel drive, it had all stock components on it, so the air filter, the exhaust, everything basically that comes from the dealer was in the car. Now this car also has stock rims, so we had a good representation of what kind of power this vehicle makes naturally aspirated. It also had 87 octane fuel. Some of you were asking why it was a little lower than some of the other vehicles. Really could be anything, but no two cars are exactly the same. You know, we can get an average, some will be low and some will be high. Now, in this particular case, we are measuring horsepower at the rear wheel like we always do, which means it's an accurate representation of what the vehicle is driving around with. Now that we have 91 octane fuel in it, and we did add a supercharger to it, which is standard fare now, right? We've been doing before and after, and then you can see what it is that you're gaining. The vehicle has not been changed in any other way. So, because this vehicle is strapped down on a dyno, and we do like to make some noise, let me run it for you, and then we'll talk at the graph. Okay, that's a fan. Hitting numbers. Nice. All right, let's see what we can do here. We're pretty high up on the scale, so you can see it here. We're approaching 450 horsepower. There you go. 439.1 because 440, you know, won't give it a round number. So that being said, looks like we're doing exactly what it is that we've been pitching, you know, throughout this entire program for about a year now. 440 horsepower at the wheels is what we're looking for. So as you know, we've gained a good 120 horsepower on this vehicle, which is a fantastic number. So that means it goes in line with what it is we've been seeing in all the other vehicles, right? The Charger, the Challenger, the 300C all seem to be putting down the same number, naturally aspirated, and then when you supercharge them and put a little bit of RIPP power behind those pistons, you know, we're making this good HEMI power. We're also making a solid 350, 60, 70, 80 pounds of torque as well. So again, it lays down into our argument, should I get a V8 or should I stay with a V6? If you have a V6 that you love, if you have a vehicle that you've invested some money into and you like the way it looks and you have all the amenities, naturally you're getting the gas mileage you purchased the car for, you can add a RIPP supercharger and emulate everything a 5.7 could do. We've proved it 0 to 60, we've proved it quarter mile, we've proved it at the rear wheel that we can make the kind of power that any of the bigger engines can, and this has nothing to do with having a grudge against the V8 guys, or, you know, you seem to take it that way, guys. I'm sorry, but that's the way you seem to go with this. So we have nothing against HEMIs. I own a HEMI. I've said this before. I have an SRT Jeep. I love it. It is supercharged. It does make 600 horsepower. It does sound great. It does get very low gas mileage. It does get 11 around town in the city. There's nothing you can do about that. So do I love the vehicle despite the gas mileage? I guess we can do a question and answer one day. But nonetheless, if you do have a V6, there you go. 380 pounds of torque and 440 horsepower at the rear wheel in another Pentastar powered by a RIPP. Thanks, guys.